Android provides a very useful tool to analyze and examine layouts called Hierarchy Viewer. It shows all the views rendered on screen, allowing you to look at their structure and properties. You can use it to examine any apps on an emulator or a developer device. You can also examine your own app on any device, even those you bought from a store, by including the ViewServer class. Let's see how we do that. There are 3 things you need to do to use ViewServer. First, download viewserver.java and include it in your project. Second, add the internet permission to your project. And third, enable the ViewServer in your activity. Here's the GitHub page for the ViewServer project. Go to the ViewServer folder and drill down to viewserver.java. Click on Raw and copy everything. Then, go back to your project and add a new Java class. We'll call it ViewServer. Paste in the code, and then fix the package name. Next, we need to add the internet permission to our project. Go to androidmanifest.xml and add it. Uses permission and choose Internet. The last step is to enable the ViewServer in your activity. Go back to the GitHub page, and this time, take a look at the sample project. In the sample project, you will find a sample activity with the 3 places that you need to enable the ViewServer class. The first place is the onCreate class. Copy this line and add it to your onCreate function. You will need to import the ViewServer class. There are 2 more places, one in onDestroy and another one in onResume. Copy that as well and put it in your project. With that, we are ready to use the Hierarchy Viewer to take a look at our layout. The layout we'll be looking at contains a linear layout with 2 children in it, both text views. The first one contains the string hello, and the second one contains the string world. Go ahead and deploy it to your device. When it's ready, you can launch the device monitor from this icon here. The Android device monitor contains many different tools. Hierarchy Viewer is one of them. This is the Hierarchy Viewer perspective in the Android debug monitor. If yours does not look like this, take a look at the top right-hand corner and make sure that you have chosen the Hierarchy View perspective. On the left-hand side, you should see a list of apps. Click on the one that you are interested in and click on this icon to load the view hierarchy. Remember, we are debugging our layout, which contains a linear layout with 2 children in it. So how come this tree has so many different things inside? Let's take a look by clicking on the root. When you click on the root view, Android shows you a preview of the view that it represents. Indeed, we have our 2 text views in here, but we also have an action bar on top. Drill down the tree a little bit, and you can see that there is a linear layout here which is responsible for drawing the action bar on top. This corresponds to all these different views in this subtree. Go up here and look for the frame layout with the ID content. This is the part that you provided. Namely, the linear layout that you provided became the child of the content frame layout. And here you can see that the linear layout has 2 children, the 2 text views that you supplied. Besides using Hierarchy Viewer to take a look at the structure of your layout, you can also use it to measure performance. Go back to the frame layout with Content as its ID, and then click on this icon with 3 circles. This asks Android to compute how long it took to measure, layout, and draw this subtree. In our case, the measurement phase took 0.763 milliseconds. Remember I mentioned earlier that if you use layout weight, Android will do 2 different measure passes to compute the width? Let's take a look and see if that indeed will make the measurement number go up. Go back to the Android Studio and change the second text view to be using layout weight. Remember, you will also need to change layout width to be 0 dp so that Android will use the weight to compute the width of this view. Go ahead and deploy, and then, when it's ready, you can reload this view hierarchy in the Hierarchy Viewer. To do that, you need to go back to the Windows pane and then reload. After reload, click here again to refresh the view hierarchy. Go back to the frame layout with the ID Content, and then notice that the view has been refreshed with the World text view taking up the rest of the width. Click again on this icon to get the new measurement numbers. Indeed, measure now took 1.4 milliseconds, much more than when we just have 2 text views with both wrap content. Hierarchy Viewer is a great way for you to take a look at your layout and see which part took a long time to render. Besides reading just the raw numbers, you can also scroll around and see that there are dots on your views. The 3 dots represent measure, layout, and draw. Red means that this view took longer than the rest of the views. This way, you can troubleshoot and look for places that you need to optimize. Let's take a look at another example, this time with frame layout. Go back to Android Studio, and we are going to change this to be a frame layout with 2 rectangles inside, overlapping each other. Since we are going to draw rectangles, we are not going to be using text views, but just simple views. And because they are not text views, we don't need to specify text. I want to give them specific dimensions using the DP construct. And also, because it's a frame layout, we don't have orientation. Now we're going to deploy and then take a look at this layout in Hierarchy Viewer when it's loaded. Once again, go back to the Windows pane, refresh, and click on the app you are interested in and load the view hierarchy. Go back to the frame layout with the ID Content. It is very similar to what we see earlier with the linear layout. We have the frame layout content and then another layout as its only child. The difference is that now that the child is a frame layout, it seems silly to have a frame layout with just a frame layout inside. What if we can collapse them and just put these 2 children directly as the child of the content frame layout? Can we do that? Yes, we can use the merge tag to achieve this.